Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Global Racing Fueled by Fans. Today, I am joined by two special guests. So, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Okay, hi, I'm Evie Spencer. I'm an aspiring motorsport journalist from central UK, I guess. I'm 15 and I love all motorsport.
Well, I'm Phoebe. I'm using my mum's account right now, so
Okay.
that's just why that's on there. But yeah, I'm 15. I'm also from Central UK. And I aspire to be a motorsport engineer.
Perfect. That's really lovely. And if you guys don't know me, then it's Olivia. I'm 16 and again, an aspiring motorsport journalist. So, I want to start off. Who do you guys support in Formula One?
So for me, I'm like I do cannot pick. I'm literally the most indecisive person ever. Honestly, if anybody wins, I'm happy. If anybody crashes, I'm upset. It's
I think
kind of
that's a
that
good
thing.
way.
I cannot pick.
I think that's a good way to watch F1 though. Then you're never disappointed.
Yeah,
Yeah, also, there's no bias as well. So,
yeah, exactly.
Totally. Phoebe?
well, I am a Ferrari fan. I do have to say, bad season so far though. Um, but I love Fernando Alonso. I I just love him. He's my favorite. He's been my favorite since I was really small as well. So,
Yeah, a fellow Ferrari girl. I'm a Ferrari fan, but the
oh,
season has been painful, honestly.
oh no, don't even get me started.
So the first question I have is how are we coping with the break? It's been a month. It's going to be a month between Baku and Australia. How are we dealing with it?
I am struggling. I can't lie. I am struggling to get through it. Basically, I don't know if anybody's seen, but on my TikTok, I post quite a bit about karting as well. But that is the only thing that is keeping me sane right now because literally I think it's Formula E on this weekend.
Yeah, it is Berlin.
Yeah, so I'll watch that as well. So I've got a couple of different things, but I still miss F1, I'm not gonna lie.
So
I mean, I'm also an IndyCar fan, so I've had the Long Island Grand Prix keeping me going. It like bang in the middle last weekend, so that's been mainly what's been getting me through it. But
I
I
have
mean,
to ask, so how's IndyCar? Because I've been meaning to get into it, but I never
I
have.
honestly, I feel like it's more. I love F1, I really do, but it's to a certain extent, it's more entertaining because there's not as big of a gap between like the first person and the second person. Like you always see Max Verstappen like ages ahead of everyone else. But in IndyCar, there's like only multiple tenths of a second. So there's always that like constant battle throughout of it. So that makes it a lot more entertaining, I would
Yeah,
say.
I definitely need to start, but I just haven't. But I have to
Yeah.
ask you guys as well, who are your biggest inspirations in motorsport?
Okay, so for me, Lissy McIntosh, I love her. Oh my God. Like, I remember I just recently got into F1 and she hadn't like, she wasn't like as famous as she is now. But honestly, I just love her to bits. And I've been following her for ages. And it's been so cool to see her like growth throughout. And it's lovely to see another female in motorsport doing super, super well. And I just love her. She seems like the nicest person ever as well.
100%. I think it's also really inspiring because she did start on TikTok and with content creation, it shows that
Yeah.
it does like mean something and it can lead to bigger things. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like it can be undermined, it can be perceived as like silly or just videos, but she's really
Yeah.
inspiring for that.
I would have to say that I love Susie Wolf. She is such a massive inspiration for me, to be honest. My dad's a hardcore Williams fan as well. So when she did the like test run with them in I think it was 2015, like I watched that to bits, honestly. I love her so much. She's brilliant. And she's amazing inspiration, especially as a woman in motorsport, doing karting right up there, like at the top. So
100%. I think even in all her roles, like obviously, like you said, as a racing driver, but then her new role in F1 Academy, even team
exactly.
principal in Formula E, she's just really inspiring. She does it all,
She's
Yeah.
brilliant.
literally. So what changes would you guys make to the sport?
I'd say for me, like, I think I know this is quite a popular thing to say, but I think rule changes. I think there should be some rule changes to make it a bit more like IndyCar from your explanation, Phoebe. I think it should just be closer racing and more exciting. But I guess that's kind of the differences with that. F1 is kind of based on like how good your car is. So in that respect, I think only slight rule changes would be good, but I think definitely some rule changes so that it's just a bit more of an even playing field. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I get that. Well, I mean, I don't really know what I'd change very much because I feel like all like different levels and different types of motorsport are completely different in their own right. So, but I'd say get the FIA to stop making stupid rules.
Oh my God, I
That's
so
what I
agree
would
with that.
change. That's what I would
100%.
change. And maybe
Yeah.
knock people down a couple pegs with the engine or something.
No, I definitely agree. You do make a good point though. Each motorsport has its own individual selling point. I feel like with Formula One, though they're not that close together, it's that whole thing of, oh, it's a constructor championship as well. But changes, I have to agree about the FIA. Sometimes I just don't understand them. Again, if we can make the racing a bit closer though, like Red Bull don't need to be so far ahead, in my opinion. Like a little bit
Yeah.
closer. But that actually led perfectly into my next point. I was going to say, what are your thoughts on the recent rule changes, like no pit wall celebrations, the potential to get rid of free practice, which makes absolutely no sense? How do you feel about
Like,
that?
why would you do it? Why? There is literally no reason other than to create a stir and create a chat about F1, which from a marketing perspective is pretty clever. But like, why? If
Literally.
you've just won your first race, you're gonna want your pit wall to be like you're gonna want everyone to be celebrating with you. And like, what are they gonna see? They're just gonna be driving past. There's gonna be no one there. It's just gonna be
Literally.
dead.
It's
And
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
some of the best, like most iconic pictures in F1 are of the pit wall celebrations, and they took it away.
Literally.
So
Yeah, I mean, I immediately think of like the Red Bull pit wall celebration. If you think of that, like immediately my mind goes to that. So, I mean,
like already, like with races, you want to see the team on the wall. But imagine the end of the world championship. Someone's just been crowned world champion and there's nobody there.
And there's
Painful.
I think what they should do is they should literally just ignore it. And I think if everybody ignores it, it'll go. I think they'll
I
just give up.
agree.
I can't give penalties to everyone. So,
Exactly.
It's true. I second that actually. Start off with Red Bull though, test run it. So if it is a penalty, they can take it and then
yeah,
the rest of the team can catch up. So what are your thoughts on toxic fans? Because I feel like in F1 we have a bit of an issue, I'd say, in the community.
I think gaping, not the word I was thinking of. Gatekeeping F1 fans literally like just annoy me so much. Like, why are you gatekeeping the sport? It's surely if you love the sport that much and you actually want the sport to progress, you surely want more fans, more people. I hate the term DTS fan. Why? Because people get interested in sport for different reasons. So for me personally, it was my uncle who got me into the sport. I'm really close to my uncle. I love him to bits, and he is a massive F1 fan. And I watched a race with him one time, and I loved it. So there's that. But then also there's people who are newer fans because of DTS, and that is not an issue. And the whole pit stop thing recently,
Mm,
that made me so irritated because I'm just like, why? Why would you say that? You're just feeding into
literally.
stereotypes. So
I
Yeah.
I really hate the term DTS fan. I hate it because people say, "Oh, it's not sexist, it's not aimed at women," but the vast majority of the time it is because there's always going to be that stereotype that women in motorsport don't know as much as the men, which is stupid,
Literally. It's like
honestly.
if someone made a hot take, like an opinion that was controversial, fair enough. But if it's a guy, I feel like you can have a conversation in the comments, but if it was a girl, immediately DTS fan, GTS fan. So my dad, I got in through my dad slash GTS. So my dad's been a fan since the 80s, and I got in like 2021. But I still know more drivers on the grid than my dad. So it shows that no time really determines how much of a fan you are. And it's just so dumb. And the pit stop boys,
Why is my question? Why? Why would you do that?
Why would they
Mm.
say it to Juan Manuel Correa as well?
that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like,
That's
why
literally what
to
I'm
him,
saying.
who's been through so much to get back into the sport that he loves and he's determined to be in? Why would you say that to him?
And
It's
why
just
would you say that no one
ridiculous.
cares? No one cares, but he's literally gone on the road to recovery to get back in just for, oh my gosh, it made me so mad.
It's just rude as well. Just think about it, like that's like saying to like an engineer, like no one needs engineers. Do you know what I mean? It's like saying to like
Sure.
a journalist, journalists are really like bad, like nobody needs them. You do. Everybody, there's jobs for everyone in the world, and it's just like leave us alone.
I mean, if
Actually,
you
though,
look at it without the racing, there would be no like fan base or anything as well, though, because the
Literally.
sport is based around the racing. So why would people not care about it?
that's literally what I'm saying. Because they were like, we care more about your personal lives, but there would be no personal lives if they weren't racing drivers. They would just be random people. It made me so mad. And obviously, what everyone was saying on TikTok, like if it was a girl, the
Yeah, they get
backlash,
dragged for it. Absolutely dragged.
Oh,
literally.
it'd be so
It's so
bad.
jarring. It's so jarring. But let's talk about women in motorsport because I feel like we have to.
Yes, we do.
Who wants to start? It's a bit of a tricky one.
Oh, well, I mean, recently I've been getting into Indie NXT and Jamie Chadwick has recently joined it.
I love Jamie Chadwick so
Same.
much.
She's such an icon, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's brilliant. I feel people started disliking her because of how often she won W Series. But I mean, surely that just shows her potential and how well she's actually doing, considering they were all in equal machinery as well.
Literally.
Yeah. You know who I really love? I don't know how you say her last name, but Bianca Bustamante.
I
I
love
I love
her.
her.
She's such an icon. And the way she's like, she's a racing driver, she does loads of content creation, which is so good because I love it when drivers like keep up on the social media, like Esty Bestie, love him.
Love him.
They're all so good. And when they like join in on the trends, it's
Yeah.
perfect. And it just makes me so happy to see that they're actually recognizing that content creators are like part of their sport. And it's so lovely to see. And I just love her so
Literally.
much.
I'm so excited for F1 Academy. I'm
Me
so
too.
excited.
What date does it start? Do you know?
Something April. I feel like it's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I think
28th.
that's what I
Can I
think. I
check?
think it's 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually
I
need to
think it
know.
is. I think 28th is a Friday.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm
And
really
Yeah,
I have it
excited
in my
for it. I've been following
really so.
Hamda Al-Khabaisi as well. So I'm really excited
Another
for him.
icon.
yeah.
I'm so excited for so many people there because I've
Yeah.
interviewed one F1 Academy driver. So obviously I'm really excited for her. And then obviously excited
Yeah.
for all the ones on TikTok. And it's just going to be such a good time. Because I love the feeder series already. So
I feel like it's also drawing more attention to women in the paddock as well, considering I think what they've said is most of their engineering teams and most of their like all of their like social media teams are all going to be mainly women as well, which is
that's
they've
great.
tried to hire more women for it, which is just giving opportunities to so many people.
100%.
Yeah.
Because W Series obviously gave so many opportunities to women. We're seeing a lot of W Series drivers move to F1 Academy, but I feel like with their marketing, they maybe didn't hit the mark with it. With F1
Yeah.
Academy, they're already doing so much content, and I think that's really going to pay off.
Yeah, I
I
feel the thing with W Series was that they just kind of blew all of their money on racing at the most famous destinations rather
yeah.
than marketing it right and sponsoring people and gaining sponsors.
Yeah,
100%.
I think as well that having like F1 in the name or having like even Formula in the name is going to help because W Series, yes, it's like it's a good name, but I think F1 being in the name is going to make people like, oh my God. And like it's a recognizable brand all over the world. So I feel like that's definitely going to help as well.
That's a really good point. I feel like, yeah, Formula makes it sound more credible. When you see
Yeah.
F2, F3, you're like, oh, wow, that's really high leagues of racing. But W Series was kind of doing its own thing, which is, of course, amazing. But they didn't have any connections really to other racing series. So I'm very excited. But we also have to talk about, I can't even speak today, the Formula Equal team. Do you guys know about that? The proposal for
I heard about
2016?
this.
Oh, I
I
haven't
heard
heard.
about it.
I haven't
So
heard.
basically, for any listeners that don't know as well, they propose a team where it's going to be half men, half women, so a female driver and a male driver, and they'll hire a bunch of female engineers, and like all their team is going to be split equally. And they put in one of the proposal forms for an F1 team, basically. I don't
That's
remember
so
who's heading it
good.
though. It was like someone that I recognize their name, but I don't remember who was heading it.
Yeah. What do you think there'll be like two team principals? I didn't know that because that was the first thing that I thought. I was like, two drivers, obviously that can be split, but I was like team principals. And then the only issue with that are the two team principals gonna like get on? Are they gonna work well together? That's my only issue with this. I don't know if they're gonna do that, or whether they're gonna do like team principals, like a female, for example, and then like the next person is a male, like the next highest person is a male. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's going to be the only thing that clashes is if
I
they
didn't
do
even think.
two.
I didn't even think about that. That's actually a very good point.
I
Because
feel like if they did do two team principals, then maybe they'd have to have like no past together, like no like former like relationship in any kind of way, like just like be acquaintances in a way, so that they wouldn't feel like any kind of bias towards each other.
Yeah.
that is actually a very good point. I don't know. Also, how do you
Imagine,
guys? Yeah,
sorry, you go.
that's fine. No, you go because I
Imagine,
was gonna go. Yeah,
okay, imagine if like Toto Wolff and Susie Wolff did it though. Imagine how iconic that would be. That would be like perfect. I would
no,
love
don't
that.
put the idea in my head because that's like now I want that to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be sad.
That would be
Oh, I
so
need that now. I need it.
good.
Someone needs to sign that up and then write Evie on the bottom. Make sure that they know you came up with the idea because
I
that would
mean, there
be.
were the rumors of Susie Wolf becoming Williams' team principal, weren't there, at some point?
There were, and I really wanted it to happen.
I wanted it to
Didn't.
happen. But I mean, with her stepping into the role in F1 Academy, I mean, it wouldn't balance well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it made sense, but at the time I was like, "Oh, it's James."
Why
I
Disappointed.
didn't
mean,
she
it's
take
fine.
it?
I mean,
Yeah.
I like James. I like him, but like Susie Wolf, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. How do we feel about Formula E? Because that's one that I've struggled to get fully into, but I'm still looking to get into it.
Personally, I do really like it. I think I've watched like a couple of different racing series, and I think Formula E is the kind of my next easiest one to understand. I mean, there's obviously Formula One, two, and three, and I watched them, but I think Formula E is kind of my next easiest one to understand. I think the thing that makes me love it is the like it's literally like Mario Kart in real life. Like they literally, you know, the power up thing. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like they go round and it powers them up. And I literally don't know what it's called, but it's just so funny. It just makes me giggle so much.
Oh, as someone who loves Mario Kart, I'm ashamed to say I've never actually watched Formula E.
It's so
I'd give
good.
it a
I really
watch.
recommend it.
I've only watched a couple races, and I get really mad at myself because I don't keep up with it. But the drivers are all really good. The teams are good. I think the only thing is it stresses me out a little bit because when they hit each other, they don't necessarily DNF. So when they're doing an overtake, they
Yeah.
might just like smash into the side of the other driver, and that stresses me out.
Yeah, that stresses me out as well. I'm gonna have to agree with you there. It's just
I
like
mean, I feel like we're used to Formula One where like every part of the car is so delicate. So
Like if you touch one person, it's like could end their whole entire race.
over.
literally. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
But they have their rookie test coming up in Berlin, and there are some big names in that, like Jack Aitken, we've got Felipe Dragovic and Jehan Derivala, for example. So I'm very excited for that one to see what happens there. But I did hear that Alice Powell was meant to be there from W Series, but she's not counted as a rookie because they have a special rule for what's counted as a rookie. I know. They were like, oh, it's because she sat in like a car before, or like she's tested it before, so she can't be part of the rookie test. So now it's all men. I was
Oh,
like,
So
okay.
sad.
It was really sad.
that's a bit. Mm.
That's what I was like. I was like, but she never raced in a race, you know? She's never actually taken part in an event. So that's very questionable in my opinion. But how do we feel about the feeder series? So F2 and F3.
I've only recently started watching them. Like, I think it was kind of midway through last year. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a Prema girly. Prema. I don't know how you say it, but I love them.
Yeah.
I think both in F2 and F3, I think they're just so good. Yeah, I think it's really, really good. And it's just like the way that they're kind of, it's a lot more closer racing, which you can probably tell a theme here. I love closer racing.
Yeah.
But I just think that just makes it so much better. And it really like, do they have the same cars?
They're
Have I got
meant
that in my
to.
head?
I
Yeah.
feel
They're
like
meant
they
to.
have the same structure, but they have different engines, is what I think.
Because I was gonna say, because the speed is not the same, but they say it's like the same
No.
spec car.
Yeah.
So I think you're right.
but
I think it's like the same.
Yeah,
think
no,
it's
they have a
closer.
lot weaker engines, like they can't go up as many gears as they do in F1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it really does like show off their talent a lot more. Like if it was like F1 where it's like a really split apart, it would kind of be like, that's the car. But like I think it really does show talent. And the other thing is, the one thing that's like really like kind of scaring me is F3 in Monaco this year. I'm terrified. 30
100%.
cars around Monaco is
Literally.
ridiculous.
And they crash like a lot. It really stresses me out, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
And some
worried.
of their crashes are huge as well.
Yeah.
It just gives me stress.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Phoebe, how do you feel about the feeder series?
I am an F2 girly. I really love F2. I mean, recently, because with Screaming Meals coming out, I've got like more involved and invested with them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's also one of the main reasons I started watching Indy as well, because Marcus Armstrong went to Indy. But yeah, no, I do like the feeder series. I think they're really good for like showing drivers' potential before they do reach F1 to see if they can go into other series or if they do go into F1.
100%. I'm like a massive F2 and F3 like fan. I've been watching it since 2021, so with Oscar. So seeing the drivers actually get from F2 to F1 is so satisfying. It just makes me feel, yeah.
I love Oscar so much. He's got so much hate though.
I know.
Yeah.
I know his whole drama with McLaren, but if they look at his driving skills, there's a reason why. His drama with Alpine, yeah. There's a reason why he was so highly wanted. And I think it's a shame that people aren't looking at his actual racing.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. And
he's
sorry,
sad
you go.
now. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize.
sorry.
I keep doing it. It's fine. You go.
I feel like he's regretting his choice to move to McLaren. He's regretting it.
I literally
100%.
so I talked I talked to I don't know if you know him, Ollie Patas, Monday, I think. I'm in his like Plat F1. So we do like monthly calls, and he asked me, he was like, can you like guess the 2024 grid? And I said, well, I think that Oscar Piastri, if Alpine will take him, I think he'd go to Alpine any day. 100%. He was like, no, I don't think so. I was like, yeah, I honestly think he would.
Because the McLaren and Alpine difference, I understand where he maybe saw it from 2022 because they were close together, but this season McLaren has fallen off.
Yeah.
So I think he regrets it as well.
I think they've got all the aerodynamics wrong. I'm just gonna say it. Their side pods aren't streamlined enough, and then their engine just isn't working in collaboration with the car, and then just everything's just going wrong.
You do study motorsport engineering though. Give us a little bit of what's your review of the
Well, I
cars?
don't study motorsport engineering in specific. I'm doing an engineering course at the moment. I'm doing a lot of work experience and things. So I'm not like super high tech on it yet.
More than me then, more than me.
But I'm still
Me too.
learning. But yeah, I'm hoping to go into aerodynamics, so that's where my like main focus is really. But I do a lot on like the engine and stuff as well.
It's really cool. But yeah, I think McLaren. Interesting choices basically have been made. But yeah, the main thing that I'm very proud of is seeing Logan Sargent from F3 to F2 to F1. It makes me feel very proud, but I'm not the biggest Logan Sargent fan. I'll just say it. But still, seeing him regress has been really sick. I think F2's, I have to agree, is definitely my favorite out of the two. Only because F3 gives me heart palpitations and I value my sanity.
Oh my God, literally. It's so
You can
stressful.
turn.
Yeah. Oh, ooh, stressful.
Literally turn around, someone's in the wall. And it's just, how did you get there? And then they replay it. And I'm still confused after they play the replay on how they got into the wall.
Literally. It's like you look 1 second and then they're off the next. Like
literally.
And you just see the names dropping down the grid list and it's like, oh no, what happened?
Thing is, I know there's 30 cars, but it doesn't mean that only 20 cars can end the race. You can all finish if you'd like.
Yeah. It just more cars, more chaos, you know.
But like you don't really deep that it's 30 until you look from the aerial views of those 30 cars at the start. I don't know how they get through those starts without any
and they
crashes
literally and it ends up going round the whole track as well. This is what, and literally the leader is following the last person around the track.
Honestly, I never want to be an F3 driver because I feel like it's so stressful.
No. I would be so stressed.
Same. I'd be in the car rethinking my choices, but props to them for getting through it.
I feel like, but being able to get through those races shows their potential to get into F2 as well. And then F1. So
it must be like F3 must be so stressful. Then you go to F2, you can breathe a tiny bit. But certain drivers, I'm not going to call out names, but certain drivers are very accident prone. A certain guy called Roy, but I'm not going to call him out. Okay. No, because I'm still so mad. Not mad. It was 2022. Dennis Hauger was doing really well in the race. And then I look back and Roy Nissany's on top of Dennis Hauger's car.
I am a Dennis Hauger supporter. He is my favorite driver. He's what, like, last season I was a Prema girly, but this season I am an MP Motorsport.
MP. So last season, I can't agree, guys. Last season I was an MP Motorsport because I was the biggest Felipe Drugovich fan.
I love
him. He's just such an icon.
Literally, because
he seems like he's like a genuinely nice guy as well. He seems
100%.
good. And from like the interactions that I've seen online, he's just so nice to his fans and stuff.
It's so lovely. Honestly, watching him progress has been amazing because, like I said, I started watching F2 in 2021. He wasn't doing amazing. He was doing like okay. So I didn't really expect him to win the championship the next year, but I was pleasantly surprised. Hopefully other drivers can surprise me because who do you think is going to win this season in F2 though?
It's so difficult. There's so many different like did you say I don't know if you saw the like the thing on Instagram and it was like over half the grid have got podiums this season and there's been 3 races. It's like what is even going on?
When I saw that I was like 5 different race winners in 6 races is mental.
It's ridiculous.
Did you see the announcement from F1 as well that it's the first season ever that all teams in the first 3 races have finished with a point at least? So
I was so happy when I saw that. I was so happy because I can't deal with any more teams being like back markers like no points. It's like there's no really point. There's not much point in you being there if you're going to score no points all season long. I'm talking about 2021
Literally.
Haas. So
You know what? It's
people out
really
there.
you know, it's really nice to see. Like Williams, right at like they're like getting in the points now as well, and that's like so nice to see it. I don't know which race it was, but Albon was in like 10th and like Sargent was in like 12th or something. It was like that is so good, and it was like so satisfying to see because I remember when I was younger and I used to like just kind of see F1 and I like didn't take it in, but I always used to see Williams like near the top, and it was just so nice to like see that again. So
Relive that
Yeah.
moment.
yeah,
It's so lovely because when other teams are at the bottom, I feel bad, but it's not that much emotion. But when Williams is at the bottom, I always feel like,
yeah,
oh,
It's
yeah.
such a historic team in F1 as well, though. You kind of, even if you aren't necessarily a Williams fan, you're always rooting for them in a way.
100%. Especially
I
being
love
British, like
yeah, and I love Alex too. I
I
literally
love
love
Alex
him.
Albon. I love
He's my
Alex
fave.
Albon.
I love his girlfriend.
Stop. They're
I
so
also agree.
cute.
Literally.
They're so cute. You know
Yeah.
the whole like she's like teaching him. I'm a massive Taylor Swift fan. I'm putting that out there, and she's like teaching him loads of Taylor Swift stuff, and then he's making Taylor Swift references.
I saw that.
It's honestly, they're so cute. Honestly. Yeah.
They're
I feel like
The
adorable.
golf.
it's good for them to both be athletes as well, because even though it's not the same sport by any means, I feel like they
Yeah.
kind of get what each other feel.
100%. And then people can't refer to her as like a wag because technically he's her wag as well. So both.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Did
don't
you
know what
see
would be
him
cool
like?
for a guy actually.
Yeah. Wait. What's?
A a hab? Wives and girlfriends, husbands and boyfriends have.
Hab.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
It
I don't like
doesn't ring
Yeah.
as well as swag does. It doesn't ring.
Yeah. Hab doesn't sound as good. But did you? I don't know if you saw Alex Albon I think it was last year. Like he was like caddying for. I think that's what you call it. I'm not a golf pro,
Yeah.
but he was like caddying for Lily, and he like looked like a proper little like wag. It was so cute. I loved it. It
No,
made me
that's
giggle so much.
I always
whenever
enjoy seeing their pets on Instagram as well. Oh, it's
100%.
brilliant. It's amazing.
But for me, it's whenever their TikToks come up, it's like it's just so sweet. I love it.
Did you see the one where she was going around and he was like teaching my protege how to drive? It was so cute. I was like, oh my God,
love
that's so
it.
goals.
I love
No,
it.
that's actually so sweet though. How do
I love
we
them.
let's talk about F1 TikTok then, actually, since we're moving over there. How do you feel about it? What are our opinions?
I think it can sometimes be like quite toxic. And I think my issue is I think cancel culture. I think there's good parts about it, but there's also bad parts about it. I think it doesn't need to be as extreme as it is. I mean, the Pit Stop Boys is a perfect example. It's just happened. I think they should be held accountable for their actions. Oh my God, words aren't wording today. But they should be held accountable for their actions. But I think, and in this case, it's kind of, I do think they've been treated how kind of, you know what I mean? But also, I think with some people, like they're just canceling people for the sake of canceling people. And it's just like, why? You're just gonna make someone's mental health bad. You're just gonna ruin their career. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally get that. I
I
think with the
mean,
pits, yeah.
oh, sorry, you
No,
carry
that's
on.
fine. I was gonna say, I think with the Pit Stop Boys, 100% they got like treated the way they deserve, but it was kind of scary seeing how fast their podcast ratings went down. I think it went from 4.9 to 2.7, like
It went down
immediately.
to 2.3 in the end.
Two,
I checked
yeah,
I saw it a couple days ago and it ended up at 2.3.
like
Yeah.
it's crazy the amount of influence. I think also with that, a lot of the people hadn't actually watched the podcast episode, and of course they've seen the clips, but I think it just shows how quickly people can just like kind of jump on the bandwagon and hate on them because they deserved it. Don't get me wrong, but people hadn't actually watched it. They were just like, "Oh, everyone hates Pit Stop Boys. I'm gonna hate them
Let's
too."
hate the Pit Stop
basically.
Boys. Yeah.
I mean, I watched the whole podcast episode. I did. It was a struggle to get through. It was, I do have to say. I was just waiting for Juan Manuel to show up at the end, to be honest. But after seeing like how they reacted to all the comments, what they did say and stuff, I understand why people are canceling them in a way. I do understand why,
Definitely.
but I feel like it's quite scary that there's always that threat of cancel culture happening to like anyone at any point.
Anyone. Yeah. Because it can literally be anyone. There was one like yesterday, like a 17-year-old, like people were coming at her.
Katie, is this Katie?
Yeah.
I saw this.
I saw her comments and I was like, that's so aggressive.
Because like 100% she did something wrong and she's apologized and she doesn't need to learn from that and people can call her out. But at the same time, I was looking at some of the comments and thinking she is 17 years old, like a literal teenager just making fun content. And if I personally got all those comments, I'd feel some type of way. I'd be like upset about it. I just think people can be quite harsh.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between holding people accountable for their actions and then just bullying people online. And I think to that point, and you know, when people send death threats, I don't get it. It's just like, why? Because you're not actually gonna kill anyone. Do you know what I mean? You're not actually gonna like cause death. It's just like you're
so
actually just scaring that person. And it's just like, why?
And I swear Pato Ward got some, and so did Alan Eilert. I don't remember what it was, but during the race, something happened and they were getting death threats. Literal drivers, random people in their homes were like, yeah, let me just end this. This is really going to make someone's day. I think people need to touch grass and understand that it's just not the way to act.
Exactly. I feel like social media has been an amazing thing for the sport. It really, really has. But I feel like in some ways it's also become quite dangerous within it.
100%. Yeah, I think F1 TikTok, I agree with you guys, can definitely have its bad sides, but then at the same time, it can be such a positive thing because even like through this, I would never have started this or felt comfortable inviting people on had it not been for F1 TikTok and like the support people showed when I brought up like, should I do this, should I not? So I think it can definitely be very positive, especially the women on this app. I think it's a really nice community. Everyone uplifts each other and supports each other, but it definitely has its bad sides.
I think what you said with the community of like women in the F1 and women in motorsport is so nice to see because like as a newer F1 fan, I was like, I'm gonna be like the only woman who likes this. Like all my like girlfriends at school like never heard of F1 in their life, like never watched it. So I just feel like not even my cousin watched it and she like literally she didn't know much. She just knew about Lando Norris because she had a really big crush on him. That's literally it. But I just think it's just so nice to like see women in motorsport and to see people like you liking the same stuff as you. It's just always nice to find common ground with people. Yeah.
100%. I think also it shows a lot of other job opportunities in Formula One or in motorsport in general, because people may look at it and be like, oh, drivers, but you get shown like F1 journalism, engineering, all these different things. And I think that's really important because I'm someone that never really knew what she wanted to do after I left school. Because I go to quite an academic school. So our options weren't very much. It was like, oh, Olivia, you're good at English. You might want to do law. And did I really want to do law? Absolutely not. So it's helped me find something that I actually want to do. And I always love the F1 community for that.
Yeah, I mean, along with how it's opened up so many job opportunities until what, like last May or something. I would never even consider becoming an engineer within motorsport because I just hadn't seen that representation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't really been brought to light that women are also academic and women are also doing these amazing things within sport. Women are doing these amazing things within engineering and all those like really top earning jobs as well.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm someone who like drifts a lot. So I wanted to be a baker at one point, because I loved baking and still love baking, just saying, but I could never be a baker, too stressful. And then I remember I always had mental breakdown making cakes. It was really bad. And then I still wanted to be a baker and go on like bake off and stuff. I was
It's like,
like,
this will be fun.
it won't work. An interior designer, a lawyer is the other thing. Everyone said to me, "Oh, Evie, you're good at English. You should be a lawyer." I'm like, I don't want
Literally.
to be a lawyer. Are you joking? But I
Yeah.
feel like nothing's ever stuck. I've never really like known what I really want to do, and I feel like this is the only thing that's like I'm really passionate about. Like it's the only thing that I've actually done something to help with my career, kind of thing. So, and it's took for ages. I've been wanting to do it for ages now. So I
I
think
definitely
it's
agree.
such a good idea.
Because
Yeah.
I got into F1 properly when I was like 14. So I knew that F1 journalism could be a thing, and I knew that was something that could be cool, but I didn't know what I could do towards it. But then after I went through the whole law thing, GCSEs, I don't want to talk about that time, all that sort of things, and like getting rid of all these different career opportunities that I really didn't really want to do, I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna make an account. And then seeing all these people making F1 content, I realized that it is possible and that can get you closer. And again, like I was saying with Lissy McIntosh, it shows that these things that we may see as like, oh, we're just doing as teenagers, they can actually mean something and they can build something bigger.
Yeah. I think it's nice to see like jobs in within your passion, because there's a couple of things that like really like draw me to motorsport. So I feel like I've always wanted to travel the world. That is something that's always been, and it's just all motorsport, pretty much all motorsport travels the world. So that would be an excellent side thing. Um, I've always kind of loved cars. I've always been proper car girly. I'm gonna get, as soon as I turn 17, I'm saving up now and I'm getting a Fiat 500, like
What
my
color? What
car.
color? What color?
See, this is the thing, I cannot decide. So I've seen, because I live in like a small town and there's Fiat 500s everywhere because it's like quite a young town. So like
Yeah.
obviously loads of the young people get Fiat 500. So there's loads of different colours and I didn't know there was that many colours. So I like,
There's loads.
there's so many. I like the blue, but I
Yeah.
like the ones with like, I like the red and like cream interior. You know what I mean?
That's nice. That's nice.
So pretty. But yeah,
I
Yeah.
love
so
those
I
ones.
don't
I
know.
love those ones.
My dream car that I just wanna see it. You know the pastel pink Porsches?
So
Yeah.
because I'm the
Literally
exact
love at first
same.
sight. I was in London the other like a year ago or two, and I saw one and I was in love. Before that
Yeah.
though, I wanted a Ferrari. All throughout my childhood, just like I've picked one car and I've been like, that's my dream car, but it always changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your
I
dream car,
definitely.
Phoebe?
I
Sorry.
mean, I
Listen,
also love Ferraris. Ferrari
mm,
F8 Tributo are my all-time favorites. I love them so much. They're
they're
so
so like
gorgeous. Like my aim is to at one point be able to earn enough to be able to get a Ferrari.
Yeah.
with engineering, you can definitely do that. They're so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
classy though. Like the old ones, like Ferrari F40s as well.
Mm.
Oh, they're just so like classy. I just love them.
I
Just
like
yeah.
yeah, I think it's the 720S, but the McLaren. I saw one on the
Mm.
motorway once. I saw one on the M1. I was traveling like down south somewhere, and it was like I saw one. I was like, I want that car.
Love
So I
at
like
first
searched it
sight.
up, did all the information. I found all the information I needed, and then realized it was way too expensive. But
Yeah, the
it's nice to
prices.
dream. It's
It's
nice
not
to
even talking about
dream.
the prices. Like the McLaren Senna is another one. Stunning. But I
I
saw
was
the
just
Yeah,
about to
price.
say that. I was literally just about to say that. I love
yeah.
them.
saw the price, eyes actually started watering. It's just not the vibe, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
Another thing that makes my eyes water because of the price. Actually, look at these segways, amazing. F1 ticket prices.
Ridiculous.
They give me nightmares.
Awful.
Really lucky, and for my birthday, I'm getting tickets to Silverstone. Not for the whole weekend though, but just for
Yeah.
the Friday.
I've been to Silverstone. I went last year. You'll love it. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, I'm really jealous. You got to see Carlos Sainz win.
Oh,
That's
God.
literally my biggest flex. When people ask me where did you go, I was like, Silverstone, I saw Carlos Sainz first win. That's all I say because
Oh my
it was
God, I'm
amazing.
really jealous of that. Carlos Sainz is like my second favorite driver, you know.
I definitely
I'm
agree.
so jealous of you.
It
I
was like,
have never been because it's just so expensive. And I
it
know people
is.
that do go, and I it's I don't know when the TikTok came out, but I saw this TikTok on my For You page, obviously, because F1 TikTok
Yeah.
fills my For You page. And it was like did loads of calculations, and it's this year it's cheaper to go to like Spa, like with flights, with a hotel room for the whole like couple of days, and it's cheaper than going to Silverstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silverstone, out of all the Grand Prix, is one of actually ignore America because their prices are crazy and Monaco. But out of Europe is like one of the most expensive Grand Prix. Like the whole time we
Yeah.
were there, you could just hear people in the background like, oh, it's cheaper to go to the Spanish Grand Prix than be here. I was like,
Yeah.
don't remind us of that. Let us just enjoy our day and then we can think about that later.
My dream is to go
Yeah.
to Monza, the home of Ferrari, you know.
I've got
I have to
Monza on
go.
my wall.
That is, I'm
Oh,
jealous.
I
I need
love
that.
that. Oh, that
I've
is
got
brilliant.
I've got Monza, Monaco, at Silverstone, my three favorites.
Good taste,
So
good taste. I have to
yeah.
agree. I think Baku's one of my favorites as well, though, and Brazil.
Oh,
I love Interlagos. That one,
yeah,
chef's kiss. It's always so chaotic there, and I love it. It's great.
yeah. Have you heard though that Monza's like a nightmare to get into though? Because like apparently there's like no like the water stations like taking it like the lines are like hours long, and it's just like that would be so if I wanted to go to a Grand Prix and that was the first Grand Prix I went to, I'd like cry. I wouldn't want to go to another one ever.
And
I
I
get
heard
that.
that they don't have like proper queue lines. Like you don't really know where you're going. You just walk and then hope for the best, which would stress me out
The thing
so
is,
Yeah,
I
much.
feel like the Brits are so organized. We always have our cues. We always have like set lines,
yeah.
designated
They
places
were
to follow,
like,
you know.
literally, like when I got there, they were like, okay, you're going to gate 25. What was it, like gate 18? They were like, follow the lines and you just follow the arrows and you just go.
Yeah.
I feel like Brits are very, we need to go
Orderly,
here, here, here.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But another place I really want to go. Have you guys heard of Ferrari World? Because oh my gosh,
I
Yeah,
it looks
so
like
want to go.
heaven. I
Abu
want to go so
Dhabi.
bad. There's one in Abu Dhabi. There's also one in Spain. There's one in Barcelona. So
Oh, I want to go to Barcelona anyway, so that's on my list now.
Mm.
no, literally, me and my sister are planning this big holiday. We're gonna go to the Barcelona Grand Prix, and then we're gonna go to Ferrari World, and it's gonna be
Oh,
great.
Brilliant.
My mum
I
doesn't get
love
it
that.
though. She was crushing the dream. She was like, "Why do you guys like racing so much?" I was like, "You don't get it. It's okay. Have to be part. You have to understand. It's a mindset. It's yeah. It's like a calling in life." But
I
yeah,
love that. I think so. I have a younger brother, and he definitely watches F1. I think I'm definitely the most addicted in the family, but he's like probably second. Um, but I think like we've said that we'll go to Grand Prix like when we're older, and I've said like if I make it to F1, I will take you to a Grand Prix. Do you know what I mean? Like he's the first person I'll
yeah.
take to a Grand Prix. Um, and like my uncle as well. So when I'm 18, my uncle said for my 18th birthday, he's gonna take because basically me and my cousin are like the same age, we're like a couple months apart. So when we turn 18, he said he's gonna take us to the Australian Grand Prix because
Ooh.
we have family over in Australia as well. So we're gonna go and we're gonna see some family and then we're gonna all go. Sorry, that was my dog. I don't know if you heard that. But we're going to go to Australian Grand Prix, and I'm really excited because I love the Australian Grand Prix, and I've never been to Australia, and I really want to go. I just feel like it's going to be
That'd be
very fun.
iconic.
Very
I
That's
like
excited.
Australia, but the spiders always scare me.
Oh,
yeah.
My
Spiders. I
uncle
can't
used
do
to live
spiders.
there, and for his wedding we went. And honestly, I was so terrified the
mhm,
entire time of
I
the
swear they're
spiders. I mean, it's
huge.
worth it for everyone. They're
yeah,
massive. They
yeah,
are like
I
this
don't.
big, and that's just like the body. Man,
yeah.
the
That's
legs
actually
are like
scary.
claws.
I'm gonna have
Oh,
nightmares about that. No, not gonna do it.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Spiders, I can't do. I can do snakes,
mm,
actually. Obviously,
oh
they're not
no.
venomous. I've held a snake before. They're actually really cool.
They are. They
They
are.
are. As long as they're not venomous, obviously, I don't want to die. But the ones that aren't, they're like kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. But spiders, you couldn't pay me.
I mean,
See,
I'm okay with spiders personally. I'm not super terrified of them. And like if I'm this I in my house, I'm the designated like mover of spiders.
Oh,
Because I
couldn't
don't
be
have any
me.
siblings, so my parents are like terrified of them. So they'll always yell me.
I am scared
Yeah.
of everything. Like I remember when I was younger, I went like to the beach and basically there was loads of seagulls and they all kind of landed near me because I had food. I ran for my life, dropped the food, ran for my life. I am
Valid though.
terrified,
I feel
terrified
like
of
that's the
everything.
that's the smart thing to do though.
Because if you
So
Drop the
run with
food
the
and
food, they
run.
might chase you. They could
exactly.
Yeah,
chase you to get the food.
exactly.
So
At
I
least
think
if you
that's
drop the
smart.
food, they'll go for the food, not you.
And
That's
that
so
was
it's
my
actually,
plan.
of course, you thought that through, like, and then that's why it happened, obviously. Fear
Yeah,
doesn't exist. No.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm scared of so many things as well. It's actually it's really bad though. I just need to my parents said I grow out of it, but here I am, 16, still scared of basically everything. But yeah, talking about siblings, I've actually got a project to get my little brother into F1 because he just refuses to watch
Oh,
it. Because me and my older sister, we both watch it, and so does my dad. But project get Ruben into F1. I've been planning it, and
Oh,
so
you've got
far
to do it.
he sat down for one race so far, and he said it was okay. To me, that's progress.
Well, I
Slowly but
mean,
surely, we'll
if
get
it
it.
was the Australian Grand Prix this year, then I mean, exciting.
Exactly,
yeah.
exciting. I should have gotten him to watch that one. He watched Saudi Arabia. He just
Mm.
looked very confused the whole time, which fair enough. But
Yeah. I feel like it's always confusing on your, I feel like, to be fair, if it's around your whole life, you kind of know parts of it, but also like the first race I actually sat down and watched, I was so confused. I was so lost. I was like, I do not know what's going on here. I was like, so mad. But also, oh, sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. Actually, just lost it. I don't know what's
I
gone
do that
on
all the
there.
time. No worries, I literally do that all the time. Yeah. First F1
Oh,
race I sat down and watched, my dad came in. He was like, oh my gosh, he's so dramatic. So he turned back around. He was like, oh my gosh, are you watching F1? That's so crazy. I never thought I'd see the day. Oh my gosh. Do you remember those times that I used to make you watch it and you always said no? He was like, what's going on? Is this Olivia? I was like, all right then, let's go chill out. He's been watching since the 80s, so and we've never been
yeah.
interested at all. Then suddenly he walks in, we're watching it. So I think that's why he was so keen to go to a Grand Prix though. He was like, no, I'm doing it because you guys enjoy it. But truthfully, I think it's been
Only for him
purely
he wants to go. Yeah.
just for him. He finally has a reason why he can go with somebody else as well. Otherwise, I think he would have booked a ticket a while ago and gone by himself.
Yeah. I don't
Fair.
have that reason at the minute. The only reason is my uncle, but my uncle lives so far away that I actually cannot like just go to a Grand Prix with him. Do you know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah,
like
like
that.
The
exactly.
thing
He's
is
probably not.
that having like no siblings and then my parents they're not like super into F1 really.
Mm,
It was more my granddad that loved it. So like my dad will like if I have it on, he'll sit down and he'll like sit down with me, not like
mm,
fully watch it. So
yeah.
I'm actually had to beg for tickets. Like literally, I was like, I promise I will clean the dishes for like a month. I was like, if it
I'll do
helps,
anything you
I'll like
want.
sacrifice all my presents and I'll have it for my birthday.
Just like, please let
I
me in.
love
But
that.
yeah, you're gonna love it. It's honestly great. You have to send some pictures though.
I
And
will,
tell
Yeah.
I
me how it
will.
was. because I really wanted to go to the Silverstone, you know, the museum, the interactive museum, but we just didn't have time. But that's definitely somewhere I need to go because it
Yeah,
looks
I
so
really want to
sick.
go.
All the cars and the seats, like, I'd love to go.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
really want to go.
when we will make it
Sorry.
to F1, then yeah, we can look back on this.
I'll
Okay.
I'll use my engineer's pass and be like, come on, get into the garage, come on.
Sneak us in.
Exactly. We'll have it on media passes very soon. This is genuinely
Yeah.
how I keep myself motivated. Delusion, I'd say,
Yeah.
but some people might
Literally.
call it delusion. I call it determination. I'm
I
gonna
call it
get there.
aspiration, you know.
I call it
Like,
aspiration as well. One day I'll be there on my media pass and it's gonna be great.
I can
Yeah.
already picture it.
Yeah, but thing is, where do I go from here is my only thing. I think keep up
Yeah.
the
That
podcast,
is me.
literally. Because
I
I'm doing
feel
my
like
A
it
levels right
seems to be
now.
being quite like having quite a following on TikTok and stuff
Yeah.
and even Instagram as well. I feel like that's definitely boosting you already in a way. I'm not like
Yeah.
I don't have like a TikTok on like F1 or anything. I don't really post much of myself or anything. So I don't really have that, but I feel like for engineering it's not as necessary. But for
Yeah.
journalism, you're putting yourself out there like that already and like knowing what you want to do and like being really determined to get there. I think it's really amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. The way I've blocked everyone I know on this account though, because that's the only reason why I'd start. I wouldn't have started if I knew they could see it.
Literally, I had a like mental breakdown the other week because basically one of my friends at school, I love her to bits, but she said to me in the middle of French, right? She turns to me and she goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. I saw your little account on TikTok." I went, "You saw what?" I was like, no, no, no. And then everyone around me was going, "Oh yeah, I've seen it too. I've seen it too." So I got the bus home. I sat down in my bed, had a mental breakdown, cried, and I blocked everyone I knew. Everyone.
Fair enough. That's actually sounds like my nightmare. For me, I already blocked everyone. Well, I thought everyone. Walked into school. My friend turns to me. She goes, "Oh, Olivia, I saw your account." I was like, she's like, "I never knew you were that into F1." I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm gonna go toilet. I literally was having a mental breakdown. I can be very dramatic, but to me, it felt like the
Me
end of the
too.
world. I was like, why do
Yeah.
they know? This is my little thing.
It's
But yeah.
Yeah.
it's my like getaway from everything. It's like, only like my three closest friends know now. I didn't tell them at first, but like since everyone like on that day I had the mental breakdown, basically I told them, I was like, guys, I've been keeping a secret from you. Apologize. But basically I was like, people are gonna find out now I'm like, I've blocked everyone, I've blocked all of you, but I just want you to know, just in case someone asks you a question about it, deny everything.
Deny.
Literally.
Yeah. I still need to tell my friends. I don't like the idea of it,
Yeah.
of telling anybody.
I feel
It feels
like
like
people would be super impressed though. Like especially with the
That's
following that you have a podcast, you do journalism, an account and stuff. Like I think that's like people would be like,
It's impressive.
yeah. I need to think like that, but my sister knows, my parents know, that friend that found out by herself knows. So eventually I'll tell them. I'll tell them eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I think it's motorsport's obviously not a new thing, but the journalism side as a straight career path, I think it's quite difficult. Obviously, I've got
Yeah.
this going on, but I'm doing my A levels right now.
A-levels you take.
English, maths, and history. Don't question the
Oh,
maths because, yeah, the
I'm
maths
Ooh.
is
next year I'm taking maths and history, so
history. I mean, obviously depends on what topic you do. Lovely subject, but oh my gosh, the content. Someone could have calmed down. It's just a bit too much. Maths.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was? I did GCSE maths. I went, I can do this. Yes, do a level. I was like, oh, I can do this. This is okay.
Oh.
This is all right. Why did I lie to myself? And now I'm here.
You're making me worried now. I'm taking further as well.
Mm.
further maths and physics. No.
Oh no. That sounds like my idea of hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna
Physics,
lie.
no,
The thing is, like, I'm
no.
determined to do engineering, so to do it, I
Yeah.
have to do this. So I'm like, that's the only reason I'm gonna get through it.
To be
It's true,
fair,
but
if you have like an engineering brain, then you'll probably do really good at maths and physics. Whereas me, I've always been an English girly. I cannot do maths and physics for the life of me. I'm
Yeah.
still only in year 10. I haven't even got exams or anything soon. I am already stressed out about maths and physics. They're the two that are gonna
yeah.
get me.
Physics, the amount of mental breakdowns during GCSEs I had about physics,
Oh.
not funny.
My
It was
physics
okay in the
teacher's
end,
really
but
bad as well. My physics teacher's so bad. I'm having to teach myself the spec.
no.
And
Oh.
I have my first exam in a month. And I'm like,
Good
"Ooh,
luck.
no."
Honestly, good luck.
I
Once
wish you so much
GCSEs are over
luck.
though, after GCSEs are over though, that summer,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah,
be
I mean,
you'll
I've
be so
already planned
happy.
stuff. I'm going on holiday with my friends. I'm just like, that's the only thing that's gonna get me through it because I'm like,
Yeah,
do this, I'm off.
I
Yeah.
Like done
that's
for
me.
3 months. So
Literally. I can't wait for A levels, like my actual A level exams to be over. So I've got a year left of school and then I can go and it can be over. Because my thing is, that's where I'm confused. Like, do I go to uni? Do I not? What do I do? So yeah.
See, with me, I've always been against uni. I'm like, I do not want to go to uni because for me, I feel like school is like the worst place ever. I hate school. I used to love primary school, but like high school has been awful. I just really dislike
Yeah.
it. I hate exams and I hate like exam pressure. So I feel like uni would just be awful for me. I think I would just like
So, yeah.
break down every day. But I kind of I've kind of been looking into like apprenticeships and stuff. And
yeah.
I think that's going to be my way to go. If I can get an apprenticeship, I think that will be perfect because I
That's what
feel
I'm
like
looking at as well.
yeah, and I'm quite money motivated as well. So obviously the money at the same time is
It's true.
nice.
Do get paid.
I mean, looking at all the different teams like work pages as well, there's so many adverts for apprenticeships in like all different areas of work. I do see the most in journalism as well and in media and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I
there's a
feel
lot of
like it's a
media
really
ones.
good place to start. It's a really good place to go.
I
Yeah.
have to like look into it though, because everyone's pressuring me about my future and I don't want to think about it, pushing it to the
Yeah.
corner. Because obviously I've got
Yeah.
immigrant parents, so they're like, go to uni, Olivia, do your good degree. And I'm like, do I really want to? Because
Yeah.
I'm mentally, like to me as a person, I'm not an academic person.
Yeah.
But grades wise, I can do school basically. But it doesn't
That's the
align with
same.
what I actually want to do. So then people
Yeah.
just see it as she'll just go to uni and stuff, but do I really want to know?
Well, I mean, if you get a good apprenticeship that's like going to last a while and that's like reliable, then I mean, what's really the difference? If it's getting you the place that you want to be and it costs
Mhm.
less than university as well.
And you earn money. Always the earn money part
It's
as well.
like everything all added into one, like
Literally
building up.
ticks. So yeah.
Literally. I feel like it's the way forward, apprenticeships. I feel like a lot of people you can do them for a lot of different things. I think, in my opinion, I think experience is better than qualifications because yes, you need to learn some theory, and I think theory in some things is good, but also I think like copying someone, like learning on the job, I think, especially for me, is just a more effective way of learning things.
Yeah.
That's fair. I joined like a webinar like a couple weeks ago for Girls on Track. It was about written journalism. And I think one of them did a degree in photography, which obviously has nothing to do with journalism.
Mm.
I think the other girl did a degree in English, and then Katie from What the F1 didn't do a degree. So it just shows that there are different routes into like every career path, but you don't necessarily need to do
Yeah,
this thing or the other. And experience, I agree. It's like I think the
I
way
think it trumps
forward.
all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
How
like
are you
it's
thinking
really
about engineering?
different for engineering. It's very different.
That's what I was about to say, yeah.
There's
Mm.
like always, I feel like there's not just one set career path, but with engineering, you always are going to have to go to university for it because it's such like a technical degree.
Yeah,
If that
100%.
makes sense. Like it's so very straightforward and very much so to the point for it. So to do what I want to do, so I want to aerodynamics, I have to go do mechanical engineering and then I have to specialize in motorsport and aerodynamics. And if especially being a woman doing it, I also am looking at a PhD. So that's like a lot of steps just to get to like a basic job in F1.
Yeah.
So
That's
not even necessarily F1. I could like go into MotoGP, IndyCar, or anything like that as well.
that would be
Yeah.
sick, yeah. That's long.
Yeah.
But you're going to be a doctor then, so you can be Dr. Phoebe.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I was going to say, I don't really know much about engineering. I was about to say, is it like aerospace? Is it mechanical, chemical? But that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. For motorsport, it's like the main base of, I wouldn't say I know like loads about it. Obviously, I don't know
Yeah.
loads about it, but I'd say that generally the main base of it is mechanical engineering. Like if you don't know the direct route that you want to go into, you've got to start with mechanical because then you can specialize in lots of different things that take you in different directions because mechanical just gives you the base of what you need, really.
Yeah.
Learn something new. Maybe
Yeah.
I can learn a bit about engineering, but my brain, it doesn't actually function with that.
Literally me too.
Yeah, that's the thing
But
with me. I'm definitely a maths brain. So I struggle with essays. I struggle a lot. Like in my head, I just can't think of a fluent way to write it. Like I
uh,
have so many ideas and I know what I should write, but I just can't put it down on paper without it sounding like absolute gobbledygook, you know?
that's fair. I think that's where normally it's like English or maths. That's the only reason why cause I could do English and maths. I can't do physics. Ignore physics. But I could do English and
Yeah.
maths. But now I know that English is the thing for me, and maths can honestly just leave me alone. Only one more year left of it though. But
Yeah.
are we all right to wrap up there?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for joining me.